Hey everyone, my name is Darby and this is the DevOps for Mobile Apps update for January 14th, 2022. On my screen here I've got an issue that I've created for this update with all the links and notes, and as always this issue is linked in the video description below on YouTube. So this week we're going to do things a little bit different. We're not going to demo anything specifically, but we're going to take a step back and look at the overall vision for this group and kind of what we're focused on over the next coming months. And I've broken this down into a few different categories here, so I'll kind of go through each of these and talk through kind of what the thinking is for each one. So the first section here is about code signing, and this is one of the first things we identified as a really confusing and error-prone process as part of the mobile DevOps experience. And so what we've been working on, and this is in progress right now, is a feature we're calling secured files. And this is like a generalized solution to the problem. It does solve the problem for mobile teams, but it also is generalized so that it can be used for other use cases. So I've linked to a couple of the issues around this, and then I've got a screenshot in here, or a couple screenshots in here to show kind of like what the UI is going to look like. And at a high level, the idea is for GitLab to be able to support uploading of binary files that can then be used in the CI pipelines. So this is important for mobile because provisioning profiles and key stores are binary files and can't be used in a very simple way with our current CI variables system. So building out a new system for this is going to be very helpful and make the process very easy. So from here you can see the idea is generally to be able to click and drag or upload a file, and that gets added to the project. With that file in the project, you can then pull that file into your runner for the CI jobs that need it. So the first iteration of this UI is very straightforward, kind of just lists the file and a few attributes. As we expand this, though, we can really pull in some more mobile-specific use cases. So here I'm showing that we can inspect the certificates and determine which team, which bundle identifier, which project they're for, and like what their expiration dates are too. These are pretty important for mobile teams to be able to see this stuff. So instead of just having kind of a nondescript link to a file, we can actually provide some more visibility here. So this will be really nice for teams, and they can be able to see like what they're working with and which profiles and certificates are being used in which CI jobs. So that is kind of the high level details of that. Also, there is an issue here about Android key store generation, which is something I think we can try to do. And this would actually be just generating the key stores right on GitLab. So this would make that code signing process even more streamlined for Android development. So then the next section I have in here is about App Store and Google Play Store integration. So this is another example of where we need credentials and certificates and various different configurations for the actual deploy process to work. So this would be taking an app that has been built and then pushing it to either store, and this would be in the various scenarios. So it could be internal testing, like beta groups, or actual public releases. So there's a couple issues that I've linked in here that talk about how we could approach this in a way that makes this process more streamlined for our users, and we can kind of eliminate some of the potential error cases that come up in this process. Another thing that is I think important to call out, typically in a CI pipeline, your deploy step is going to be at the end. And so if you have a configuration problem, you have to run through the whole pipeline before you get there, which is frustrating. And so what we can do is we can build out some testing tools that allow us to actually test the connection within GitLab before we have to run a whole pipeline. So I think this will make life a lot easier for folks that are doing this, and they can be confident in their deploy step at the end of their pipeline. The third thing I have listed here is improved review apps for mobile. So we started doing some of this early on a few months ago, which was a CI template that integrated Appetize as a emulator that can be hooked right into the review apps functionality that we have in GitLab. And this is a nice feature. It is a bit limited in scope, and I think we can expand on that and improve that. So there's a couple issues that I've linked in here. The first one is about being able to support additional emulators like Device Farm or Browser Stack or some of these other tools. There's some changes to review apps that will need to come in to make that all work. So these device emulators don't work the way that traditional web apps do. They're not always on and just sitting there waiting for requests. So we'll want to expand review apps so that we can give users the ability to select the device type that they want, boot it up, do their interactions, and then shut it down. So that will be kind of a enhancement to review apps to support that, as well as the integrations with those providers. The second thing I have listed here, and this is kind of a nice to have right now, I think, but there are several cross-platform development tools that are becoming pretty popular in the mobile space. So things like Flutter are getting a lot of traction. And one thing that I ran into in looking into this is that our review apps capability right now doesn't support multiple different types of multiple URLs essentially for a single build. So if you were wanting to take your Flutter app and have a pipeline that ran both Android and iOS and build it all in one go, there's no way to really like have both of those review apps running. And I found an issue where some folks have been asking for this already. So this would be an opportunity to deliver on that and solve that use case for mobile as well. So that's the issue linked here. And then the last thing that I have in here is I just called it mobile CI templates. What we can do now with things like the secure files and the App Store, Play Store integration and things like that is we can build some CI templates that are can create like an auto DevOps type experience for mobile. And to kind of make that work, and the issue that I've linked here, we're talking a lot about leaning on Fastlane. So Fastlane is a integration layer for mobile, and it does a lot of the heavy lifting for the build process for mobile apps. And so by leaning on Fastlane, I think we can limit the complexity in the CI templates while still being able to provide some pretty cool functionality. And I think that's important because we don't want to get into a state where the CI templates are brittle and hard to maintain and hard to enhance and things like that. So I think leaning on Fastlane will be really helpful to provide that capability. So those are the main things that we're focused on right now. I'm looking for suggestions and feedback. So as you look through this, if you have any other comments, if you see things that were missed, whatever, please add some comments below in this issue. I'd love to talk about this more with you. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.